It's finally time. This is a collaboration I'm very excited for. Part of the reason is because Whites doesn't have anything remotely close to this. Well, they actually have a lot of things that are close, but that's what's interesting is, you know, you look at, because if you don't know, this is probably from the title and stuff, this is the final unboxing of the final prototypes, final production, ready, everything's solidified Sundance boots. Which perfect timing too. Unfortunately, Robert Redford died a couple days ago. Right when we released the first video. Unintentionally, obviously we don't know he's gonna die on the day we post a video, but we'll probably do a little video kind of highlighting a little his career a little bit, because Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid was an impactful movie for me. I always loved Robert Redford. I loved Paul Newman. I love these old school dude actors that were like the iconic male superstars of when I was growing up with Turner Classic Movies, you know, watching some Harvey, watching some old Westerns, watching the Dance in the Rain, all those like old school Turner Classic movies. And so it ended up being really interesting timing, and it'd be cool for us to be able to give a little homage to, not Paul Newman, this Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. So I want to just kind of show you why I think this is such an interesting boot, because you've got White's entire line of more heritage style boots. You know, you've got your classic 350 Cruiser. You know, it's just your classic boot. You've got the heel counter, regular pattern, a little bit higher heel than most other like Red Wings and stuff, but fairly low compared to a cowboy boot. It's more like a roper heel. You've also got your 350 Cutter, which is, I love this boot. It's a lace to toe pattern, but it's a lot more dress oriented. It's really beautiful. I got one in like a purpley color one time, but they didn't fit me, so I gave it to my cousin. And then really their last like lower, really heritage 6-inch boot is their semi-dress boot. I love, see, it doesn't have that external heel counter. It's got that line that goes all the way through, very reminiscent of the Alden Indies, which I brought this boot for this video because I actually did pull a lot of inspiration from this. And yeah, this is kind of like the third and final shorter boot that White's offers. And this is the more dress-oriented one. I think it's built on the swing last. Oh, it's built on the 55. I was thinking it was on a different last. And so there's no boot in the White's lineup that is like a lower 6-inch Western style boot, because you've got this more dressy style boot, you've got your classic heritage boot, and you've got your classic lace to toe heritage boot. But there's nothing in the 6-inch range that's Western. They do have the original Packer. You know, this is I think 8-inch boot, super high heel, very much a Packer through and through, and that is a cool looking boot. But there's no 6-inch ones. And so that's why I was like, we have to make this 6-inch Packer. We've got to. Like, none of these other brands make a little 6-inch Packer. Even like Red Wing, Wolverine, for some reason, nobody makes a little 6-inch Western boot with the toe bug, with like all the height of the heel, with that crazy arch support that you can really only get from Western style boots, but especially Whites, because this 690 last is, as far as I understand, their highest arch last. Because if we go to their, let me just double check it. The 690 is one of the oldest lasts in the Arch Ease collection, used for mining and logging boots. It features a high logger arch, height and width in the toe box, and underslung heel for added support from the ground up. It was perfected as the Packer arch after Otto designed a boot for the USFS mule packers during a time when the Forest Service roads were still trails. It's the coolest story of all time. We'll go over that in like the cut in half video. It's the perfect last to represent a Western boot. It's the Packer last. It was specifically designed by Otto White himself for the USFS mule packers. It's freaking perfect. And so it's a really cool story. It's about as Western as it gets, but not just like Western in like a fancy like cowboy boot way, but Western in the real way. Like the hardworking Western wear, Western way. Hard wear, Western wears Western wear every single day. And so taking that toughness and combining it with the Western boot, and instead of just making a cowboy boot, making the Packer boot, and then taking the Packer boot and making it a lot more consumable, easy to wear, more casual, easy to dress up, easy to dress down, but still a White's boot. It's perfect. This is all of our boot accessories that we've slowly developed over like the last 4 years as we've done more and more boot reviews and realized how many things are missing in the market. Because if you're watching this, there's a good chance you have a nice boot, and one of the funnest things to do with it is start to build it out, kit it out, customize it, make it your own as you're breaking it in. And that's what these kilties and boot pocket kits allow you to do. We got them in a bunch of different leathers, a lot of really popular boot leathers. They come in different sizes. You got the fringe, you got the no-shows, you got 6, 8, 10-inch, you got the boot pocket kit with 3 different pockets, different sizes. You sew it on the side of your boot, sew it on your jacket, sew it on anything. And we also just released these laces, but they sell out every time we get a restock. So if they are sold out, get on that limited edition email list. We'll announce when we have a restock of these. Even down to the Jim Green outsole we designed with Jim Green for the barefoot boots. You can buy them on our site. But the most surprising products of the year that really were shockingly successful was the boot breakers. You know, we launched this, it was 2 millimeters of foam and a high abrasion fabric just to help break your boots, because this hard veg tan is such a pain to break in for the first few weeks. Just having 2 millimeters of squish still allows you to break in that insole, still allows you to get the whole heritage feel, but it eases that painful break in until you're ready to pull them out, or you just leave them in for tons of comfort. And we just launched the 4 millimeter foam boot breaker if you want just a little extra squish, twice as thick as the original boot breaker. So now that you've bought probably a few high quality boots, customize them, protect them, make them a little bit more comfortable. That's what all these accessories do. So be sure to check out all these below. They make great gifts, self gifts, and it's a huge way that you can help support the channel. So check them out below. So you can see I'm pretty freaking excited about it, but we got some stuff that we gotta unbox because we gotta have a knife to do the unboxing. And today we got this little Knafs knife that I've already unboxed. It came with this little Kydex sheath, but then I realized they sent us this really cool leather one. I was like, dang, that's pretty sick. Fits like a glove. Got a little belt clip and socks. Because with these heritage boots, you gotta have nice, comfy socks. You just, especially with these little bit more narrow toe boxes for me, I used to just wear like Nike socks. And then over time, I just realized that that was the dumbest thing I could have done. I started actually wearing nicer socks, and I love these socks. They actually sent us these for the elk hunt that we're going on. And Smart Wool is about as good as socks as you can buy. They're super high quality. This is a 64% merino wool blend, 35% nylon, 1% elastic. And I love this like my dad used to have these exact socks. I remember them. Not from Smart Wool, just like back in the 80s and 90s. A lot of companies made like just super basic, easy, simple like hunting gear. It was like, it's gotta be green, it's gotta be kind of foresty, it's gotta be like ready for boots. And so it's just like old school vintage like hunting socks. It's so cool. And I'm wearing my other, let me put it up here. I'm wearing, just top down view. I beat these up pretty good. These are the samples. And so just for fun, I'm gonna show you what a little conditioning will do on this Red Dog, because there's a unique comparison between the Alden's and White's Red Dog leather that I think you guys will find interesting. So let's get to it. Oh yeah, because you remember last time, and I'm sure that White's told me, I just completely forgot. This pair, I was like, why is it toe taller? Why is this not as attractive? Why does it not look as good? It's because it was the 55 last, which everyone loves the 55 last. I'm just kind of the rare occasion that people don't. And so we're gonna do a little light comparison of the 55, just for fun, why not? Give you guys some more information. But we're definitely going with the 690 last. We have to. We got to do the Packer last for the Packer boots. Plus like the name Packer boot is so cool, and like to have a more refined, lighter, lower, slightly more casual, a little bit more dress-oriented version of Packer boot called the Sundance boot. It's a pretty good name. I'm pretty hyped about it. Okay, first official final prototype. One of the 3 colors that we're releasing, because we're not releasing this color anymore. And I'll tell you why. I think you'll understand. It's a good reason. Which one is it? Woo! Red freaking blood core leather. Are you kidding me? Oh, these look so sick. Look at this. Me and Cass were just talking about these, because there's so many, especially in the blood core, there's so many ways you could wear these. You know what I mean? You could easily dress them up as a really nice dress boot because it has that slim silhouette of the toe. It's got that higher heel. It's all blacked out. Or you could really beat these up and really, like I brought these in just to show you, and really get them to look like this pair of drifters that we destroyed for that video. And that's what's cool about the blood core is it's a Latigo base, so it's so soft and supple. It's gonna wear really, really well. And Latigo was designed specifically for that cinch strap of the belly for a saddle, like the cinch strap. So it's like, once again, it's perfect. This leather was originally designed for like pack straps, like mule pack straps, saddles, and now you get a mule pack, you get a Packer style boot in a Latigo leather. It's freaking perfect. Yeah, so you can, what I was getting at, I was like, you can keep it super clean and classy and have just that little pop of color, or you can beat the crap out of them like this and really get that heavy emphasis of like the gradient, scratch and scarring, beating them up. And I don't even know which order you're gonna see this in. So maybe a quick teaser, but also maybe just a reminder of this project. Because the Drifter 4, we postponed it for the Sundance because I'm so hyped about Sundance. White's is hyped about the Sundance. A lot of people that we've told are like, you gotta launch that Sundance boot. And so we're postponing the Drifter 4, and that also was perfect because it gave me just enough time to refine an idea of taking blood core and making the flesh bright red. And it's really tough to do because if you look at the blood core, it's black on both sides. And so we had to tan a really thick hide and then split it at the tanneries to split down and literally like split the leather in half to get to the red core. So you get all this really beautiful gradient, all this like these scars, scratches, the veins, just the dye coming through different parts of the leather. So that's what the next Drifter is gonna look like. It'll look like this. Can you imagine? It's gonna be so sick. But the reason we're not doing the black double shot or Domani, whatever this leather is it looks exactly the same as the blood core, and blood core is way cooler. And so instead of doing 2 black boots, 2 out of 3 boots being black, I was like, we're going blood core, we got to. And so what color did we go with besides blood core instead of black? Besides, you know what I'm trying to say. What other did we do besides black? Let's find out. Okay, this video is gonna be so long, but I'm trying to keep it short because this is cinnamon wax flesh, and I have had a love relationship with cinnamon wax flesh for literally the entire time I've had this channel, because this is some of the cool, and this actually inspired the use of the brown wax flesh in the Indy series, because when I was first getting into like these Pacific Northwest boots, I was just searching all the different colors, options, lasts, all this stuff, just learning about everything. And there was one cinnamon wax flesh boot that I was like, that is the perfect leather, the perfect boot. And I've yet to get it until today. And which is even better, because now it's on one of our designs on a really cool Western style boot. This boot is like, this picture is at least 5 years old. Yeah, that's exactly, 2020. Look at that gradient. Is that not insane? Like that like blows me away. Like it gets so light that it's almost tan in some spots, but then dark brown where you're not wearing it out. This is one of the higher like contrast wax flesh leathers, and I've always wanted it so freaking bad. This leather just ages like no other leather. And because it's not dark brown, you get that tan kind of undertone showing through. This photo specifically is like burned into my brain because of how much I wanted this boot. So now you can see why I'm so freaking hyped. So this is like taking this boot that I've always wanted and making it more of what I wanted by making a packer kind of Western style boot. It looks like he's put some conditioning on it on and off, and so it's even dark in the darker spots. And then as you scrape up the lighter spots, it lightens up. Oh my gosh, just look at it. That's one of the most beautiful photos of a boot that there's ever been. So needless to say, excited about that color. Okay, now for the final boot. Bet you can't guess what it is. But there is some differences. I should probably be more careful doing that, actually. And I'll show you where we pulled some inspiration on the Aldens with this red dog pair, which the Alden dorks are not gonna be happy about it, but there's some good attributes to the Aldens that I really like. Pulled some inspiration, and yeah. So now, the final pair. Red dog. Look at that. Red dog age is really, really interesting because this is a work boot leather. So see, this is like worn in red dog on a pair of drifters. You can see how crazy that gradient really starts to get when you start scraping off that top layer of pigment. And then this is like completely brand new. And what's interesting is how similar this whole concept is to the Aldens. Because I did pull a lot of inspiration, because I love the Alden boots. Even though we talk a lot of trash, I still think they're twice the price they should be. They're very comfortable, they have a certain look. I like the semi-dress, but still being comfortable kind of vibe. And so I was like, I want to do that same thing, but instead of just semi-dress and comfortable, it's semi-dress and Western. And so you can see we pulled a lot of inspiration from the cleanliness, the aesthetic cleanliness, how clean this aesthetically looks with that one little counter stitch line right there. You can see very similar back stays. One of the biggest differences though is the Aldens are super flat and you almost have no arch support. And that's the whole point. They're wide, they're flat, they're like orthopedic. Whereas this is a polar opposite. This is a packer last. It's the highest arch you can get as far as I've seen on their website, that Whites makes. And it is ridiculous. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. If you get a pair of these, you have to commit to wearing these for like at least a month before they even start to really feel like they should. Because you've got to beat all that leather down day after day after day. That's why I think that's why they put nails in this arch specifically, and most of the other boots they don't, because the arch is so intense. They have to literally nail it down to get it to stick. Yeah, I just thought it was a quick, interesting little comparison. You know, tiny little heel for comfort, big heel for Western and flare and clip clopping around, give you a couple of extra inches. Similar heights. You know, it's an interesting parallel to me because I like the Aldens. And like I would wear these to Symphony and stuff, but they're not fully my style. I'm not that much of like a dress up, go to like wear slacks, wear suit and tie. Like I rarely dress up. But Western, I could do that all day, every day, no problem. And so it was kind of like if I were to take the concept of Alden and filter it through who I am, this would pop out the other end. And so yeah, I think it's a cool comparison. But I wanted to show you some of the differences between the pair that I'm wearing and the final pair, just to give you some quick info on that. Just some quick info. So number one, we went a little bit lower, or a little bit tighter of a heel, just to give it a little bit more Western flair. You can see how much shorter that heel is. Other than that, it's pretty much the same actually. I think it's all the exact same. So what I wanted to show you with Otter Wax, I just wanted to do a quick see how much we can revive this Red Dog with just a little bit of saddle soap, not saddle soap, Otter Wax. Because this is their little kit. You got your boot wax, you got your saddle soap for cleaning, you got your leather salve for just a little bit of conditioner, and then your leather oil for a deep conditioner. So I'm gonna do the little salve just so that it's not overly conditioning. And just like anytime you use, look at, I've used it plenty. Anytime you use conditioner, pick a spot on the boot that you don't mind changing the color of the boot if it accidentally completely changes it, because any oil content in a conditioner will darken the leather no matter what. Might just be temporary, but it will darken it. So for instance, trying it on the kiltie. Just put a little on there, rub in, look at that, it completely disappeared already. I'll give you a little zoom in. See that, before and after? Let's do this back spot right here. That's a pretty good spot. So here's like your beat up versus brand new. So if I put just a little bit of this Otter Wax salve on here, just having the moisture in there immediately darkens that leather back up. You'll still probably want to put a little bit of pigment in there because once this dries up, but dang, look at that, completely gone. That's because it's a work boot leather. It's made to absorb the oils. It's like literally twice as thick as the Alden leather because it's not a dress leather. And I'm not even complaining. It's just a unique comparison. So chill out, Alden boys. So over time, this will dry out and it'll get a little bit lighter, but that just goes to show you how much just a little bit of moisture in the leather can completely change the color, and how much you'll be able to revive this Red Dog if you really beat it up like I've been beating it up. And I just wanted to show you this while we're talking about all these boots. This is my most worn pair of drifters. It's the Drifter 2. Look how good those things look. You can really see the difference between the 4811 last and that Packer 690 last. So instead of doing a try on, because I already got a pair that fits, I'm gonna rank these on which one I want most to which one I don't want the most. And in the meantime, there'll be some background footage of me walking around in these, just kind of show you what they look like, how they wear. Number one is definitely between these two. I'm having a hard time, like if I could only have one of these boots, if I didn't have more of blood core, honestly, I think this is number one. I've wanted this boot for so freaking long. It's been like 6 or 7 years I've wanted this boot in this leather. So that's gonna be number one. And then yeah, I think blood core number 2, and then Red Dog number 3. But lineup, these boots are so sick. So stay tuned for the official cut in half video where we're gonna go through like why we went with the single row stitching, how this arch is so ridiculously built up, kind of telling the story of what a Packer boot even is, what is the USFS, like why did Auto White make boots for them, just telling the whole story and really showing how we've taken this old school heavy duty work boot that was Western inspired and condensed it and boiled it down into the Sundance boot. So thank you guys, this is so freaking fun. This is a big one for me. I've wanted this style boot for so long, and it's this to me is like the evolution of the Drifter boots too. Like the Drifter still has its place. We're still gonna release the Drifter 4 in I think November, but this boot is like kind of the culmination of like all my Pacific Northwest information and learning and slowly figuring out what I like, what I don't like, learning about the leathers. I'm very proud of this boot. And I appreciate all you guys' support. Without your support of supporting these collaborations, without watching the channel, checking out our handmade leather goods, we could not convince the brands to do this. And because of your support, it's cool that we're able to push these brands to make something that I think they've needed for a really long time and work with some of the coolest and top brands in the entire world. It's so freaking cool. So thank you guys. I appreciate it more than you can ever imagine. It's also my birthday, so I'm just a little extra grateful today. You know, that's how much I like these boots. I was like, I will unbox these on my birthday because I want one so bad. So thank you guys. Best birthday ever, having free freaking boots in front of me. Doing lines of boot. So thank you guys. Check out the release of these on Thursday the 25th. Yeah, 25th. And here's the prices. You have the toe bug option. You don't have the toe bug option. And after the first unboxing video, there's a handful of people that really wanted the Sundance boot on the 55 last. And it's understandable. The 690 last is pretty insane. Crazy high arch support. You know, it's got that more Western toe box. I talked to Whites, and all you got to do if you do want the Sundance on the 55 last instead of the 690 is just call in after you make your order. They'll put the note on your order and make it on the 55. So the toe will be a little bit different. You know, it's going to be shaped a little different. That little vamp piece will be different, but at least you got the option. But I think you should go with the 690, do the whole thing, but 55 is an option. I'll link the drifter sizing below because to me it fits the same as the drifter sizing guide. And make sure on that limited edition email list that's linked below as well, because that's going to give you early access to get a pair of these, because they're only doing 500, not of each color, 500 total. And so there's going to be limited supplies. I think people are going to really want this because Whites has never done anything like this. And it, like I said 1,000 times, like I feel like Whites has needed a little 6-inch Western boot for so long. I think they're going to go quick. So get on that limited edition email list below. And thank you guys again, one more time. I appreciate it. See ya.